Hello and welcome back to Board Game Replay, brought to you by Tabletop Showcase. Thanks for coming back to check out part 2 of our Godfather, Corleone's Empire coverage. In this video, we'll be featuring our 3- and 2-player game sessions, and I think without delay, let's get right to it. All right, so game's over. We're going to score up our people here. 46?
51.
62.
Wow.
I had 32 in money, and then 15 and 15.
Damn.
I got cocky.
That was really
If I hadn't
good.
let you guys think I was going to win, I think I would have won.
Wow. Whew, man, that was really good. Like that, I thought I was way behind, and that last round, I really brought it back. It wasn't just good because I came close to you guys. I meant like that was really tight. I was gonna say like we just did the 5-player game whatever a couple days ago, and I was like that's my favorite way to play, absolutely. But now this, I'm kind of like this is kind of my favorite right now.
This
it's
is
like,
nice.
This was really cool.
At the very least, like it's been an hour and a half and change.
Yeah.
This, I feel like I could fall into my own pattern and just like if you guys wanted to fill it up again,
Sure. Yeah.
I would do it right now.
Yeah, I enjoyed the 3-player game too. I was able to sit in on the 4-player, the 5-player, which was it's just nonstop, taking people out, moving, resource control. You just ran out of everything. This was, I felt like this was a lot of. You have to find out what people are going for and react. And it was mainly territory. Like try to stall out as much as you could.
Yeah.
We played a lot of jobs, and then it was trying to manipulate who had what location. And then I'm going to place my figure here. Duele control.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
That was well done, man. I was really starting to get excited because I thought I had some control this round. Damn.
Good. Alcohol. I'm going to bank a 1.
That was a powerful round for you, Brian.
Yeah.
I hope you lose.
He's going to have to discard so much, though.
No,
Dude, it doesn't. He just banked everything.
No, I had like 14 cards and I
No.
blew them all.
Let's
so.
do this. Area control. Wall Street stays the same, actually, so I do maintain control of that. Yay. Michelle, you control Brooklyn now.
Yeah, no.
Upper East Side's a tie. You maintain control, Michelle. Maintain control. Brian, you're gonna get Upper West Side. Midtown's gonna go to nobody, and then Chelsea's another one for you, Brian. No, you tie it up so it doesn't change.
Oh, that's why I did that. Yeah.
Yes, you tie it up. So you maintain control. You don't get another disc, but that's still a really good play.
Okay. I think that territory was a lot more important in this game than it was in the 5-player that I played before.
Which is weird because in 5-player you get like more of a benefit from holding a spot because more people are going there and getting
Yeah, that was
stuff,
the thing
right?
is there were very few benefits, right? Like nobody ever took Midtown.
Yeah.
Literally ever.
Like it literally, yeah.
Because nobody ever bothered going there.
Right. All it was a gun. We didn't bother,
We had
Gun.
we had the locations for the narcotics, which was nice.
Yeah.
Two locations with narcotics came out. That actually definitely shaped the game. One narcotic that gives you $2 and one narcotic with bank.
Yeah.
That allowed us to really bank some late game cash quickly. It was very cool.
It was good too because when people had, especially when Michelle had literally like 5 territories, no matter where you went with a thug, she was getting all that stuff too. So having those lets you not have to worry about the gun or say, the alcohol, things like that. So that was really helpful.
Yeah.
That really set the value on these territories high.
So most of the game, the way that we played, it wasn't as violent as I think I would have expected it to be.
Or cutthroat, maybe?
Yeah.
Cutthroat.
But I think we weren't shooting each other the whole game. That didn't start until really the end when we kind of started to get a little desperate and you could really kind of shape the game at that point. So that was kind of a cool, interesting, different way to play for me.
So I had a drive-by in my hand. You did one from either your hand or from the job board.
I did
Michelle
both,
did one. You also had the police chief.
Yeah.
And it was all for the last round. It was all for territory. You were waiting for everyone. Everyone was stalling with jobs. And then once people started putting players down, it was like, you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to place my character.
Yeah, it was like, thank you for playing a character, so now I can murder it now.
Yeah. And that's what it was trying to just maximize your who was on top and try to tie some of them up.
Yeah.
I am going to play a narcotic to take the cannoli. And I'm going to go ahead and shoot that thug right now.
Right now? Okay.
All right, this is going to be a drive-by shooting here.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to grab this right here. Drive-by shooting.
Hey.
See ya.
I'm going to pay these drugs. And this gun for drive-by shooting.
There's gonna be
Yeah,
nobody
I'm gonna
left.
shoot both of you.
This is
Don't
gonna
worry.
I'm gonna
I
get you
only have
both.
2 on the board.
Well, I only get to shoot one of them.
Stern but fair. Afraid there's gonna be another drive-by.
Oh, jeez.
So I'll pay a narcotic and a gun. Oh, I don't even give a damn. I'm just going ruthless.
That's a third one. This
Get
round.
out! Just like Brian, you literally have no one in the city
No,
representing.
they're all gone.
I don't care. Here we go. Get Brian again.
No. Help.
Is there going to be a time when there's nobody left?
It's gonna be certainly
like-
possible that could actually happen.
man.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever went aggressive with a gun strategy, right? I started to see the value of it a lot. Maybe it just I needed the lower player count to see it because I was like, I can really shape the game with the drive-by. Like I can say,
Yeah.
boom, boom, 2 of your guys are dead. I have that much more chance to take over territory. So I kept trying to think in that mindset of where are the spots I want to control. So I was placing my guys to hopefully take 3 or 4 territories in one fell swoop,
Yeah.
and then just killing you guys whenever you showed up to those spots. So.
Yep.
Everything has a valid strategy. Like it's really cool that just being an asshole and gunning people down is actually a really valuable strategy, which just kind of plays into the theme even more, which I love.
Yeah.
I was saying you get a lot of money for taking over a territory, and you if you're not able to bank a lot, like you said, you got a lot right at the end.
Yes, yeah, I was
But
going crazy.
even if you can't bank, like you managed to take over a couple, that's 5 each. So
yeah, it
and that's-
really puts the value on the end game scoring.
I spent $9 on the hotel owner that when I was able to play him, I could only bank 2 things. So just like for me, that's a strategy that I would reevaluate. I think.
No, the allies weren't
Right.
necessarily as valuable this time. They were much more of a like I paid a bunch of money for the family soldier, which is just gaining 3.
Yeah.
That was more of a stall. Like those guys kind of suck. The ones that just
Yeah.
give you money. They're fine. They give you that stall to be able to wait it out,
Right.
but they're nothing crazy.
Yeah, and I think the stalls were really valuable this game.
Yeah.
We all spent a lot of time just
Yeah.
trying not to be the guy to make the
Yeah.
first move.
It's amazing how different the game feels, though. It really
Yeah.
does feel so different because now you're placing a person, and there's only 2 turns between you and when
Yep.
it comes back around. So it's
It's a little bit more predictable, but not in a bad way.
yeah, no, I agree.
Predictable in that, like, if I understand Brian and what I think his strategy is, sort of way, not
Right.
nothing that the game does. But yeah, I really like this 3-player.
Yeah, that was excellent. I was expecting I wasn't expecting it to be I would say any better or worse. I was just sort of thinking it's going to be a different experience. But man, that was I don't know. I like all the experiences of it, but like
Yeah.
I love the 5-player for like you were mentioning. Like I love the 2.5 hours to 3 hours, whatever it took us to get through that of just like brain burning, trying to maximize and really just outthinking all of your opponents. And then this, which is a much faster version of that. It's a little bit more like there's less buildings to go to.
Right.
So it's a little bit more like you have a little bit more control over the direct conflict. Instead of sort of outsmarting the whole table,
Right.
you kind of just have to you have a better chance at outplaying people directly than necessarily keeping quiet
Right.
back in the
Outplaying
corner
all of your
and
friends.
outsmarting. Yeah.
Damn it, Brian!
Put the 1 in there.
I can't believe you just took that.
I don't want to discard.
I pushed my luck again, and I.
We can
paid
have
for
5
it.
cards, right?
Damn it!
Or is it? Oh, okay.
It's 5 at the end of the round.
Oh, that's all right.
Damn.
It seems like it's a good spot.
Man, first round problems. This is really tricky. Wow, we don't have a lot of banking on the board here.
Okay, you already placed your family member here? SOL, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
I only have to worry about what you 2 are doing.
Right.
And we only have so many pieces, and even though there's you start with less spaces,
Yeah.
there's still only so much you guys can do, and there's still things that you specifically would want to do. So it's easier to, I should say, predict or take a chance on something.
Yep.
Whereas 4 and 5 player, that's 3 people to 4 people that are going to go, and you can pick a few things that you want to do, but there's almost no way you're going to get what you want through it, and it's reacting to the last person that went.
Right.
Right.
This one was methodic.
Yeah, you could kind of plan out your strategy, and then you could have a backup strategy that
Yeah.
would work because if you kind of had 3 options rolling at any given time, you could do one of those things for the most part.
Yeah.
I liked this, and I liked the 5 player. I'm not going to knock the 4 player.
Yeah.
I liked the casual into the bloodbath right at the end.
Yeah.
with a 3-player, and then the chaos that comes with the 5-player.
The 5, yeah.
The 4-player,
it's right in the middle.
after playing it, you're like, yeah, but I want those 2 extra buildings, and I want that 5th person for to start more taking people out, stealing stuff from people.
Interesting.
Add the chaos to the game.
Dude, so wait, have you done the 2-player yet?
Not yet. That is going to be coming up. It's actually up next. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that because I've heard from both Marty and Joel who've done the 2-player, and they said it was excellent and it was a very different game.
Yeah.
Again, I could say that about every player count so far. It's been interesting with every amount of players. It's been not only it's been exciting and it's been a great game, but it's been completely different with the different player count. So if I can only imagine too. I mean, a game like this, a brutal area control game, a cutthroat area control game. With 2 players. All right, well, I think that'll do it for us here in the 3-player game. And as we were discussing the 2-player game, that's going to be coming up next, so stay tuned. Six times 5. That's another 30. Plus you get another 5 for that.
Well, that certainly ties it up.
Well,
so you were 54 before you started this.
And that was another 30. So I got 84.
Yeah. And I got 38 plus 5.
I really feel like there was a huge shift of power in this game, right? So
this was a totally different game than we've played before.
I know. It was completely different. That was like under an hour, first of all, because we take turns fast.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about this in the 3-player game. Like, oh man, wasn't it? It was almost refreshing to have 1 or 2 less opponents to consider. But in this one, you literally have only one opponent, one direct competitor. So every time you do something, there's a direct reaction to that.
Right.
And so it's like, it's really intense because you don't have anybody else to counter that person. Like, hey, she's going down here to get this zone. Like, hey, somebody should go stop her. Like, you can't.
Right. It's just you. And if you can't stop her.
Yeah.
If you can't stop Matt from what he's. If you can't stop Matt from having all of the guns, you will end up with all of your players in the river.
Well, that's where you have to, like, find a counter strike.
Yeah.
Look, to quickly mention, like, my quick thoughts on the score, right? Because I know I was behind. The first 2 rounds, I was like, I'm getting wrecked.
Yes, I'll go here. I'll take $1 and I'll keep first player.
Okay.
Damn. Yikes.
All right, Zone 1 control is going to go to you. Zone 2 is also going to go to you with your 1. Zone 3 is going to go to you. Man, you took me, like, all over the map here. 4.
Stays with me.
5 is going to go to me. 6 is going to go to you. 7 is neutral.
Okay.
Oh, man, that hurt. Look at that.
It was like a total shift. I don't think so, though. Because even then, you were still playing, like, the muscles in and the can't refuse. Like, you came out of the gate strong with those the
1 cost cards. I was just going to talk about the value of the 1 cost quest in this game through the roof.
Yeah. And I only ever had I only ever had, like, 1 of those in my hand.
Yeah.
So just, like, luck and chance, I got hosed by.
Yeah. But I will say, I thought the last round of this, like, there was like a total deciding factor. Like, this whole thing right here happened in like 3 turns.
Oh yeah.
Right. So like, it kind of built up to that, and that's like that's not to say that like you did something majorly wrong to give me that. It was just like that's the way I feel like the 2-player game flows, where it like builds up to a point, and then it's just like bam, somebody crushes it. You know, like that person that gets that little bit of an edge for whatever reason it happened, whether it was like the fact that I had the gun cards to be able to play them, and I threw them down at the right time.
And I can't imagine a version of a 2-player game where guns wouldn't factor that predominantly.
Yep.
Like, just the fact that it's me versus you, and I can eliminate your people and give myself an extra turn.
Yeah.
Of course, gun's gonna be the most thing. And I caught myself
so true
after turn 1 when I got all excited that I had a boozy card in my hand.
To bank
like,
more.
Great, I can do booze. Oh God, no! And it was just one of those like. The second that I realized that was 1 turn too late, and I think, I don't mean to put too much onto that 1 turn, but I think that honestly, making that initial mistake,
because there was you're saying
had all these ripple effects.
There's a take the cannoli over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, or at least there was something. There was a muscle out.
Yep.
To push. So yeah, that could be really strong. Man,
yeah.
It's like I dare say it's almost even tighter with two people because it's so
right.
You have to be so careful. Right. You have to. Every move is so important because you don't have somebody else to like.
Right.
Make up for maybe a slight mistake you made, or like you don't have the time to be selfish and start like, I'm gonna go.
Oh well,
here
I want this because in 6 turns that would be fun.
Let somebody else deal with Michelle in the south.
Yeah.
Or let somebody else take care of Matt's problem with his guns. Like, but there's no answer to that.
Yeah. Man. Where I felt really trapped was there only being the one job space too.
Yeah.
Like that isn't something that I felt in previous games. Like, who cares? You know, like jobs, whatever. But only dealing with what was in your hand and then what was there was incredibly limiting this time around. Like,
oh, wow.
I kept finding myself like wanting to do whatever I could to get another job to maybe get a chance to shoot you in the face.
Yes. I thought, really, I'm not trying to be like, to pat you on the head in any way. Like, I thought that was a very close, like, that was a very tight game throughout. You had me on the edge of my seat with every move you were making. Yeah. And I just turned the corner this last turn. And also, this might have been the way.
Yeah.
The police chief, that extra stall, I had one more stall than you. I had the ability to completely...
2 more, because you had the accountant,
too. Dude, hang on, look at this. Like, I had this to gun down an entire turf. And then I did 4 shooting cards.
Yeah.
I killed a total of 1, 2...
Oh, no, I'm aware of the number of
3,
dudes you
4,
killed.
5, 6, 7... I killed 7 or 8 of your people throughout the game. That's devastating.
Yeah.
Two-player. Devastating.
Well, and then it also...
You're like, yeah, I know.
Like, I was there.
Oh, my God.
Like, this police chief, like, Lord bless him. Like, he's just trying to do his job and be a nice guy and do the right thing.
He's shoving people, like...
But screw that guy. Like, honestly, he was more work than he was worth because it was buying me a turn. But, I mean, at the end of that, second round? Like, that was what paralyzed me, was thinking I got to shoot someone and then realizing that I only got to remaneuver.
Right, and remember when you actually played him here... Oh, okay. I'm glad you agreed.
I'll just move him with the police chief. So I move him to turf, and then I move your bro out of said turf.
I'm going to muscle in over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's going to give me 2 2s.
And you're going to take one of your figures back from the city and use it again immediately?
That is what I'm going to do. Narcotic, a 1, and a bank. As well as a gun. Wow, okay. And it kind of countered your whole thing. It shut down the police chief and gave me an additional benefit.
Right.
Like, this isn't criticizing you.
No.
Like, but, like, that was a good move to move him off. But then I had a card to take advantage of that move. And so, you're right. The Act 1 police chief kind of blew in that situation.
Like, quite honestly, I want my $5 back.
But I'm just thinking about, like, all these other powers, right? So,
but like, to what you were saying, like,
let's see what else there is in here.
It felt like a really even game, even when I was getting demolished about halfway through. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, whoosh. I mean, you had, like...
This last turn was insane.
You had, like, 5 turns after all my guys were placed. Like, that was brutal.
Yeah, that last turn was... when you told me your last character had been played, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? I have 3...
Yeah.
I had a family member and 2 thugs left to place. And on top of that...
You still had your accountant?
I had my accountant still to bank some stuff, but I also had... I think I either had a gun in my hand or...
You got enough guns to shoot me again.
Or another drive-by. So I was like, oh... Like, that allowed me to not even have to, like, contest stuff. I could just kill the guys that were in my way.
Yeah, and at that point, you were just min-maxing for yourself. And, like, how do you get the most?
How do I get the most?
Yeah, and having that control was really important.
So, yeah, that's a good thing to bring up. Control. We've talked about the varying powers of it, right? Some games, and I mean, again, this could change, I think.
Totally.
Different buildings are distributed. And again, I say this every time. Different buildings get distributed. Different allies. We get one. I think there's 6 allies per act. We get 1 in a 2-player game. There's just 1. So this could, like, you could have something useless like a family soldier, like, who really gives a damn? Or you could have, like, this Hollywood producer that gives you a 5 for each turf you control. Like, that could give you, like, 20 or 30 bucks.
Loved having him at some point.
The mayor could be insanely strong, like taking back territory. So all of these things are really strong, and we only see 1. So your 2-player games are going to vary a lot based on that. But I definitely think, like, territory control was the winner in this game. You beat me in straight dollars. I had, what, 36?
34 and I had 38.
Right, so you actually had more bank
Yeah.
throughout the game than I did. Even on my last turn where I had combo and I banked like 6 things.
But you destroyed me on
It was all control.
jobs and control.
Oh, jobs and control markers, yeah. Honestly, like, I really think you had me. I think this could have turned around on a dime. I think that, especially in the second game, where you had, you know, a second version of this at that player count. I've also played the most games. I've played it probably, like, at this point, like, 13 or 14 times. I played this game a lot. So, like, I sort of, I'm not saying that I'm good at these games, but I've sort of played it a bit more, so I might, that's definitely an advantage, right?
Yeah.
And then on top, like, knowing what spots are connected and maybe things that I won't overlook, like spaces like this that I might not overlook.
Yeah, like, oh my god, how many times did I end up here? And I'm like, I get everything! Like, nope.
No, it's just...
Here's how lines work. Which is fine, but yeah, and having the less spots was pretty brutal.
Yes, right here. This is what I noticed a lot.
Yeah.
Wall Street is a big zone. It's the first one to get to. This spot that you took right here.
Yeah, we fought over this spot, like any of these 3 that touched multiples every time.
We didn't actually mention we got an extra thug in this game.
Yeah.
How much do you think that changed it?
Well, it gave you someone else to murder.
Gave me another target to kill.
That was how. That was pretty much how I felt it.
Mm-hmm. Even that,
I think
like,
it coming out in that last round is almost negligible. Even like that last round is. I can't imagine it would ever be anything other than a bloodbath.
Oh yeah,
Like
no,
I
agree.
can't wait to see other people playing this and see and hear how that turns out for other people. Like I would love to be wrong about it.
Yep.
But I would be really surprised if it doesn't always end with half the world in the river.
All of our games so far have ended in like some kind of bloodbath. But I mentioned in, I think it was our 3-player game with you and Brian, I want to say I mentioned that I'm starting to find the value in gun cards, whereas I sort of ignored them before because I thought it's there's no bonus in me throwing Michelle in the river. Who cares? But then I started to think like, oh, I didn't. After getting my ass kicked by Isaac and Jeremy and Chris, I was like, there's actually a lot of value in those guns because I found the people that were initiating the bloodbaths ended up doing well because they could control the board. They're like, oh, well, this guy's in my way. Let me just get him out of there, you know? And like it ended up working out really well for them.
Yeah.
And I went hard guns this time, and it definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm giving you a lot of flack for shooting people, but I shot you 3 times.
Yeah. Wow.
Plus the police chief.
Yep.
So like I'm going hard on you about that, but it really was a game all about the guns, and to only have one space where you get guns.
Yeah, it was heavily contested for sure.
Yeah. Thankfully, the drugs came out. Found myself being really excited about drugs a lot in this game.
The drugs fueled my last turns for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also helped you. No, I'm kidding. Jokes. Because otherwise, I mean, that's another of that same resource.
Right.
If that weren't there, that's.
This was probably one of the most beneficial spaces in the game for me. I never placed a thug on it, but I kept like jockeying around, like muscling in, putting a guy up here and getting. And that's honestly what gave me the ability to play. I want to say at least 4 or 5 of my jobs. Because I'm like, oh, well, I don't have a third gun. Ooh, yes, I do. I'll play this narcotic. You know, I'll do a car bomb where that, you know, wrecked 2 terrains for you. Oof. Yeah. Man, I've done all player counts of this game. I can't really
what's your favorite?
I don't know which one's my favorite because it's like every time I play it, I kind of feel something different in that game because again, I feel like every time you play this game, there's so many things changing that you get a little bit of a different experience each time. Sometimes a really big experience change. 3, I would say 3 or 5 is kind of like my thing,
okay.
but it's I don't even like saying that almost because it makes me feel like this is somehow like less of a game. You know what this is a different Godfather.
Yeah, it feels
this is a different Godfather than 3.
This feels like a totally separate game, unlike the way that like 3 to 5 felt.
Yes, I agree with that.
This could be a completely different game, and I would believe it.
Right, yeah. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for playing and experiencing the 2-player. I thought you would be a good person to do it with because you were, we were really...
I take murder easily.
Had a great time doing the 5-player game and the 3-player game went
fun.
really, really well. So it was a perfect candidate to have here, so thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
All right, that's officially all the Godfather counts. 5 players through 2 players, and hopefully you've got a pretty good idea of what to expect from the game in all of the different flavors and varieties. So I want to thank you for joining us, and we will catch you again next time. Thank you so much for joining us today. This coverage of The Godfather, Corleone's Empire has been brought to you by Tabletop Showcase. For more information on Tabletop Showcase, as well as links to all the other great content, including playthroughs, interviews, theme studies, and more, be sure to check out tabletopshowcase.com. And one final exciting note is that CMON Games is currently running a contest giving away 3 copies of The Godfather, Corleone's Empire. Please check the description below for how to enter. The code word is Showcase.